Oh, snap. It says that we are live. So, um, hey, how's it going? For the chat or anybody joining us or on the rewind, I am off of work for a little bit and I've been wanting to live stream and just BS during a weekday, for the hell of it for a minute. And Mike and I are buddies and we like to shoot the shit about stuff. And so I asked him, would you like to talk about pop culture crap? Because we were talking earlier, he was doing a stream while he was playing Skyrim or Elder Scrolls. I was talking to him about some
Nerd
shows that
stuff.
I had watched. Yeah. And so, hey, what's up, Elbor? I hope you're doing well, man. Mike, my brother used to play like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. It's kind of like Zelda in a way, isn't it? Or
Mm,
Assassin's Creed or something? Tell
More
me,
like Tolkien.
Tolkien?
Yeah, it's closer to Tolkien.
No, I want to talk about the gameplay, I mean, not the
Mm.
theme or whatever. But we can talk about that too.
Gameplay, I'd have to say it's its own because for its time, it was the first. If you go back to the original like arena and stuff, it was the first like
Open
kind
world
of
or whatever.
more like first person shooter, but with melee weapons. It wasn't a like first person aesthetics where you didn't have a third person or second person perspective.
But you were playing and it looks like third person to me.
You could switch.
Oh,
You
okay.
can switch in between
Okay.
third and first.
Okay. So you have a choice.
Previous ones, you didn't have that choice. That was something
Okay.
they added for Skyrim, and specifically, I think for the remake, the definite editions, because I don't remember being able to do that in the like original Skyrim release, but it could have been. It could have
It's
been. But no, that
Namen and Evil Mike. It's Namen. Sorry. Hey, Namen.
it's a no.
Sorry, I'm looking for my fucking. I can't find my Give me just a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little kerfuffled. I gotta find my little vape thing. Can't find it real quick.
I'm
Sorry,
popping
hey
a bottle
guys.
as we speak.
Yeah, I'm not professional at all, guys. I apologize. So here we go. Found it. Crisis averted. Coming right back. But how you been, Mike? I mean, damn, it's been a minute. Oh shit! Did I X him out? Oh no! What did I do? I don't know what happened. Mike, unacceptable. Did he say he's got to go? What happened? So I'm gonna say, what happened? Texting this. Anyway, guys, what I'll do is I'll keep. You can't type that word. Unacceptable. I've been off, and oh, even Mike's back. Guess who's back? Back again.
I think you accidentally hit something because
I
all of a sudden I
probably
was
did.
gone.
I think when I meant to stop my cam, I ejected you instead.
Accidents happen.
Let's see. Let's see. I think I probably did.
Yeah, but going back to Skyrim, I want to say like lore wise, it's probably the closest to a Tolkien, if not more like expanded lore. I don't know. Reference wise, that sort of reminds me of like once you get into the story and what it's about, and like the different races and stuff like that, it has intricate backgrounds. Like for instance, in the game, you find books and notes. Every single book's, I mean, they're like full-fledged book that you could stop the game and read, and it's all extra lore into the game. But Skyrim's like the sixth one in the series. It's been going
Okay.
since the '90s. What's up, Collector P?
What up, Collector P? Um, and I hope everybody's been all right. Yeah, I know my brother played it a lot as a kid, but see, my brother also played like Diablo 3 when it came out, and I mean, I knew it was like a dungeon game, but I was big sister. I did not pay attention to his little Pokemon or his little Star Wars or his little Diablo monsters or his little Elder Scrolls or bot da 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 da. That was my brother's shit, you
It's
know.
funny the things we hate on, we can easily love.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly, because Rick, And Sabrina, for the longest time, they were like, "You need to play Diablo," and they kept pushing it on me. And I was the judgiest, bitchiest little shit. I was like, "No, no," and I was such a cunt trying to get it downloaded and learned it. And then once I did, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm the person that plays it the fucking most." I'm
The fun
such a
thing
hyper.
about the fun thing about Diablo, it's designed for both basic players and really advanced players. So you could go through and
You
just
can get
button
deep if
mash.
you want
Hmm.
to.
And if you take the time, there's a lot of numbers because it is a role playing game.
Well, I figured it's just that's all it is just a long equation, really. I mean,
It's all
well,
games.
yeah, I guess, but I've never seen it so clearly as I've seen in Diablo for me, where it's like, okay, so the goal is, but this is true about Magic. I've Because when I learned how to play Magic, it was essentially the similar. Is you need to find like combinations of cards, or in this one, it's combinations of moves that will end up multiplying and creating the most damaging impact. And when you do that, it will drain certain resources. So, what other powers will it couple with that can complement and replenish your resources so that you can deal out these max moves? And so it's just like, okay, so this is the idea. Now, how do I put it into practice? And I didn't know any of this. I went to, so Rick, Straight Edge Rick, he sent me to a site and I read up on it and I learned a lot, just because it's like you start out in something and you have to read the basic text and you have to learn the basic definitions, what everything's made of. So I had to learn all the basics. Um, Sorry,
No,
but
you're good.
I
I
found it.
mean that is the basis of all like strategy type games, and that's going back all the way to like backgammon and chess, and
Mhm.
depending on who you're playing on, they're gonna have strength and weaknesses, and it's up
Mhm.
to you, the player, to figure it out. But I mean, you're talking about that's Pokemon, that's Magic, that's
And
and
so
that's
I
any
didn't dabble in that. My brother, that's all he really did. And what did I do instead? Well,
that
I
that's
was
like there's core things where like once they started with these core ideas, they've stayed that way through all games. Like for instance, like and I mean, it does apply to real world physics and stuff like that. But hey,
Mhm.
you know, water water beats fire. Water's wheat's electricity. These things carry over to everything. I mean, I'm playing Skyrim and it does. Like if I come across an ice individual, like you could take fire and burn them. Um,
Mhm.
but some of that stuff is kind of universal, and it's just because you haven't been there. Come on, Stephanie, hurry up.
Yeah, come on, madam, you shit. I'm just kidding. All right. Well,
It's
um,
really just breaking those fear and taboos, because it's like Pokemon. Like I heard the same thing from everybody. I'm not playing that little kid stuff, and lo and behold, it's not little kid stuff. I mean, if you would have seen the Source, which was the manga is extremely violent. Like
mhm.
where they're not catching, it's more killing than um, no, but that's like everything. I think with Diablo is the name attached to it. Oh, I'm not playing.
Titan.
Yeah, I'm not playing a game involving Satan because I've gotten comments like that because I've had Diablo posters in my house and stuff like that.
You
Like
just
the
don't get it,
apartment,
man. You just don't
the
get it.
the townhouse that I had before this, I had a huge like Diablo 3 poster. I loved it, and it just had like the badass image of Diablo's face on it. It
Well,
would freak dates, when I'd bring them over. And I'm like, it's just a game.
so in you know, Diablo was a game of grindage, and I would say that like another game of grindage would be,
All RPGs,
well,
all
yeah, like I was gonna
RPGs
say
have their
Paper
own.
Mario and Zelda, you just gotta put into hours, like,
Mhm.
because they're Nintendo, they're gonna be shorter, n but, like, it's the same
Zelda,
thing
that only applies to the two
to the
newest because
Paper
you're
Mario. Some Zeldas are really long.
they're all long, but you're talking about the
Wind Waker?
grinding.
Wind
Yeah, there's
Waker's
no
my favorite.
Yeah, but there's no grinding in Wind Waker. You just
Yes, there
play
is so long. It's days and days. It's
grinding. Maybe you don't know the
so no,
term.
sorry. Grinding is leveling and leveling and leveling.
Mhm.
And so where you say grinding, that is a specific term to like a Diablo style or something. But
Yeah,
like
because
me, because you
it's
don't
usually
level in Zelda, you just get more hearts or whatever. But when I say just hitting it and going, that's my looser. That's how I would grind. But like, yes, I know that grinding means to continue to max to like a certain like level.
your
Whereas
definition already is the loose version of the
I'm
term.
loose.
Okay, so grinding is when you level up, yes, but when you level up in a specific area with like the same enemy over and over,
Yes,
it's the
same, repetitive.
you can't even do that in
Like the
Zelda.
pit
That's
of
one.
the artificer.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of different
Ugh.
terms like farming. Farming is the same
Yeah,
concept.
for resources.
You're stuck in one place and you're just
I've
continually.
I've been learning all the new vernacular. I've been so out of it, but like I didn't know like OP, which is obviously overpowered. Like so
Mhm,
that one was easy to understand, but I didn't understand nerf. I had to have it nerfed. Like this is, they're gonna have to have it, which means modified to not be as OP.
mhm.
So basically, yeah, and just the whole bot terms. It's just fun for me learning and hearing this shit, but also
There's a lot more, and especially if you
oh
start doing
yeah,
like multiplayer Diablo, you're going to start running into a lot of other terms that they don't use in Fortnite and other
yeah,
games that only
yeah.
apply to those style of games.
Yeah. I've seen our like AoE and
Hmm.
there's different things that I'm already having to look up because I don't, but that yes, these little short isms but with that I don't think I've heard any of them like or very many at all. I just know that there's some that are just straight up definition related like it'll be
There's
just even short terms.
there's terms specific to
Short names.
Diablo like gating, and gating just means like you just want to run through like an in-game gate
Mhm.
or
Go walking.
rubber banding. Rubber banding is like when you want to continually keep doing the same level over, hoping that you'll get a drop.
Oh,
Like
yeah, if there's a percentage or yeah, because 'cause you're trying
mhm.
to get an item to yeah.
And why it only applies to kind of Diablo, because once you get so far in Diablo, you can replay levels specifically and certain acts. Like you don't
Mhm,
have to play through the whole, massive act. You
mhm,
can play through a segment. You can't do that on most games. We get like it's specifically open world games. Like once you do the quests, it's kind of done and that's it.
mhm, got it. Um,
Now, but as you go, that's one of the fun things about Diablo is it's a dungeon crawler to begin with, and that's that style of, but like it's a little different in itself because it's like, I'd say the biggest difference in this dungeon crawler is like it has a mainstay story to it, and usually dungeon crawlers don't, but like you'll notice as you go through like Act One, the first
yeah,
time you go through it, it'll be a certain way. When you go through it again, the dungeon will change.
mhm.
It'll offer different bosses, it'll offer different story pieces depending on which way you go. Every time you play Diablo, it's said to be a different, playthrough kind of thing.
And as you go up in difficulty, different parts of the map and different stories get unlocked, is
Mhm.
what my understanding is. Like,
Yeah,
as you go to, like,
none.
the new torment level or whatever.
That's when you'll get new bad guys and stuff. Once you start getting
Yeah.
the Uber, have you gotten to Uber level bad guys? And it'll say Uber next to them. Like it'll either, I don't know if they did it for Diablo 4. I imagine they did, but it'll
I
have
have
like a
not.
U.
I you know, I think if I went to Torment 2, and that's kinda where I'm at right now, so I'm still kind of a baby, like, even though, like, it's a more competitive level, it's still at the baby ends of the more competitive ends,
That's
so
a
it's more
grind.
like mid-range, I
That's a
would say.
grind in itself because, you
Yes.
have to sit there and constantly beat the same level over and over again. What's up,
Mhm.
Aaron? Um,
But at more and more difficulties, and the monsters take
mhm.
more, hits and all that shit, X whatever.
Mhm, mhm.
But at the same time, your payouts are more, well, they're better, and so you get to, yeah, this. But I was talking to you. You were playing your Skyrim, and it looks like you probably are still. Are you playing? Is it like on in the background?
It's on. It's
Yeah,
on a safe state. It's not.
yeah. Um, just want to wait for this dude to go. I think it's just a male guy. Anyways, like,
Delivery.
hmm
It's probably what
yeah. So, I was talking to you. I basically spent the last couple of days watching seasons 1 and seasons 3 full of White Lotus
So why didn't you watch season 2? What were the reasons behind that?
because I specifically the reason why I wanted to watch it in the first place is because I had been seeing clips of Parker Posey. And Parker Posey has been in a bunch of indie films since like
Mhm.
the early mid 90s, Best in Show, not Best in Show. Well, she
Yeah,
was in Best in Show, and
she
she
was.
what's the very Waiting for Guffman is the one that I really think she's hilarious. And uh, okay, I'll get there. I'll get there, Aaron. And she was also like in Dazed and Confused or whatever, but she just cracks me up when she's in these little pieces. Uh, and in Waiting for Guffman specifically, she did like a southern accent, and she was really good. And she's
Mhm.
just there. She said something to the name. There always be a place for me at the DQ, like because she was saying she's trying out for a play or go on somewhere, and she's like, but I work at Dairy Queen. It's just like the one of the funniest fucking shots I've ever, like, I just can't. So she was in this and she was doing she plays a character that is like a southern woman. She does it so well, but it's basically the socialite, well-to-do southern lady who is twacked out on like anti-anxieties and cocktails, and they're just like, hi, how are you, honey? So I wanted to see her in it. Well, I found out she was in the very last season, season 3, and I was like, well, I cannot go into this watching, season 3 straight, because what if there's a story that goes through? And so I was like, I got to start at season 1. So I watched through season 1, and then I realized, okay, so each season there's a hotel chain called the White Lotus, and they have locations in like these really resort nice places. One's like the first season takes place in Hawaii. And I think the second season takes place in Italy. And then the third season that I watched takes place in Thailand. And so with each new resort location, there's the guests. So it focuses on the very rich clientele that comes and visits, for a vacation at any given time, and the staff, and usually like the locals or like the indigenous peoples that basically have to serve these people or put on an act, for these very, very rich white people, but they provide the services, like. And so it's a really interesting observation of how different classes interact, how certain people think, they're entitled to certain things, how they compare themselves to other people, how they think that their value is originates from, and like their levels of, it's just wild to see, just like, okay, well, the people that have to come to work on everyday basis, that, like, say one is like a security guard for the place, man, like he's just a simple dude that makes his own, food every day, comes in, and like it shows how he interacts with like another worker there who he's got a crush on, but then at the same time, like they have to deal with these, clients where it's like this an uber rich white family, and like, they're just, sometimes they're just so shitty, and just they do all these terrible shitty things because they think they're entitled, you know. um
Is this
White
all
Lotus.
the show's about? Because
Well,
Aaron was
usually
saying, isn't there like a ghost or something? Or
there's not a ghost. There's no
so it's
supernatural.
just a class piece about like the
It's
rift between
dark
the four.
comedy. It's about revelations of how the values different people have based on their social status, what people think they're entitled to, and how they treat others based on their social status.
Mm.
And it's really dark, but it's observation. It's really great. I think it's a great dark comedy. It makes
I
you
thought
think about shit.
I thought this was like a murder mystery or something like that. No, it was a
So
hard pass for me.
part of it is kind of it's got some elements of that, but I'm not trying to give away anything like that.
Mm.
So, but there is a weaving element throughout all three that has to do with a mysterious murder.
Mm.
So, but that's all I'm going to talk about, and you're just going to have to, you know, take from it what you will. But what I get from it, what I enjoy the most, are seeing these crazy interactions of how, yeah, people do that. I've seen this type of behavior. I've behaved in this way, or I've behaved in that way. I felt this way, or I've seen these things. And it's like, it's true. And how people like will compare themselves to others instead of like trying to just compare
It's
themselves.
not even a comparison. It's a bad word. It's a belief that they believe they're different, and that's why I'm not into the concept of the show, because I see a lot of this on a day-to-day basis. The second you go interact with someone that's in a different class, like, and they believe that you're in a different class, no, you
Sure.
see different stuff, and it's
It,
it's not fun.
well, the thing is I think this puts a real spotlight on it and kind of does a real good job to call it out for what it is. And that's why I enjoy it, just because while we've felt it in these little ways in life or whatever, there's never been a show just fucking, hey, this is fucked up.
Like
This
putting a
is,
spotlight on it.
yes, let's
No,
look at this.
that I can get behind, but it
Let's
always
cut this,
depends.
let's take this apart. But anyways, yeah, I suggest it, man. At least watch the first episode of you guys, and then you can say whether or not it's something you give a shit about.
Shit, I
Um,
will.
the first episode of every season, though, it always opens at the very end of every season. So it's open. It's the end time, and this is how
Works
you just see.
backwards.
Yeah, you see people reacting, and then cut scene 5 minutes after into the first episode, and it goes 2 weeks later or 2 weeks earlier, and then it will start. But what you see is the fallout or the end before you see anything, before you know anybody, before you know what's going to happen. So
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a little Nolan-y in that sense. But anyways, yeah, it's cool, man. But
yeah, it's super popular and it's got high ratings. It's not that it's not.
so
And
yeah, I never cared about it one way or the other until I started seeing, one, Parker Posey was in it, two, essentially all she's doing is her waiting for Guffman role again. And I loved that role because she was hilarious. And yeah, she does twacked out Southern woman so well. I just like, I'm here for it. I'm here for the character acting. And there's Steve Zahn or Zane or whatever. He was
Steve's
the
on.
Yeah, he was in all those, young teen goofy movies like 20 years ago or
Mhm.
whatever. He is a dad in the first season. Oh my god, his performance. I really loved his performance.
He's a good
Um,
actor.
yeah, he does a great job in this one. And then but he plays a dad, and Sydney Sweeney's his daughter, and then he has a son or whatever, but it's I, you know, it's a good show. It outlines these things, like, it puts the spotlight on the, like, cognitive dissonance that gross amounts of wealth can buy you, but also it's a show about humanity, and it's a show about redemption, and connection, and why do people go on vacation in the first place? they try to go to get a break and connect a little deeper. And really it's just kind of about that. It's wild. I appreciated it. For me, that's what I took up. What up, Marcus? We're talking
I
about
like that.
pop culture.
Specifically, White Lotus.
Yeah, we were in
Well,
the
I could give you my take on like, because I could be a TV show snob, kind of.
oh
I
yeah.
love stories. I love art. But when it comes to TV shows, and generally I like, popularity and stuff. Once a movie becomes so big, if I haven't heard about it and people are like, I love this, then I kind of have to check it out, kind of thing, and see if, all that's true, kind of thing. And most of the time it is. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie.
Hey
Um,
girl.
with shows, it's a little different, and it's usually just based off of like preference for me. But I mean, because I can name off at least like 4 or 5 huge shows that people love that, won Emmys and stuff like that. That I have no interest. And there's some
Say it.
actors and
Say the names.
oh, I will. And there's some actors and actresses that are heavily tied to these that would get me to go, but they still don't have it. But for instance, The Wire, and there's a ton of people that love The Wire, and it's just what it's about
I
and what it
watched
involves.
it. There's solid actors and certain solid episodes. Is it
I'd
like a
watch it.
favorite?
I'd watch it for Claire. I like Claire Danes.
Oh, is
Really?
she in The Wire?
hmm I love
That's
Claire. Yeah, I think she's and it's
I know
you know,
she's in Homeland. That's what I watched her in.
yeah.
or maybe
She was
it's
Homeland
good.
was
it might be
good.
Homeland.
It's Homeland.
I might be getting
Where she
confused. I know
plays that
she's in.
agent that
Yeah, I know she's
has,
in one of those shows.
yeah, it's
Okay,
Homeland.
well, so a bunch of them, but like The Sopranos, I've never had a desire to watch that. And
I liked Sopranos a lot.
I
It
know a
was
lot of people
okay. I had to
have,
like force myself to watch it.
and
Oh, I
it's
could
not.
watch it over and over and over again.
See, but there's specific reasons why. It's not because of the actors, and it's not because I feel like it's a bad story or something. Me personally, I'm just not into mafia stuff. I don't.
See, for me, it's not about
It's not.
mafia.
It's not even that I don't acknowledge it, or that's like how big Scarface was. To me, Scarface is like so low on the totem pole as far as like cool
Yeah,
and
it's not my thing.
you know.
For Sopranos, for me, I love it because it's about self-realization and it's about lives being led unfulfilled. And like, oh my God, him going and talking with
Marcus.
the shrink, you know, the fact that a big mobster has to go because his mom was a fucking nutso. She was a histrionic personality and he's the way he is because of it. And it's great. That's why I like it, because it's just like it's taking a different perspective and putting a spotlight. So it's taking the mafia, but looking at it and the personality types and the psychological perspectives of these guys behave this way because this is the pressure, and that like how normal, really normal his life is when he gets home, and his home life is like, yeah, he's a mobster, his kids are little assholes and they still got like soccer meets and fucking cheerleading practice, and he still gets pissed off when his favorite deli meat's not in the fucking fridge, and his wife has these expectations. That's that's what I like too. But um, those are
Yeah,
the things
pass
I
on.
appreciate.
I find it strange that most people didn't think that the mafia members were, in fact, humans. When they went home, they had basic.
You
No,
don't think about
um,
it. You don't think about it.
that concept applies, like with supervillains, because that's hard for me to imagine Joker doing when he goes home, like
And taking a
sitting
shit,
back and yeah, like watching his favorite TV. That's hard to
scratching
envision.
his
But
junk.
a mafia guy, no, not so. No, but that's like I can get behind stuff that evolves around that. Like I loved Breaking Bad, but it was the gimmick that the story was around. It wasn't like a basic mafia stuff, even though it was kind of around. It led heavily into that. But there's different
Breaking
things.
Bad
Like
after season 3, I was over it.
I watched the whole thing. That's
I
like
think I got to
Boardwalk
season
Empire.
2 and mid season 3, and I was like, I don't care anymore.
Empire is a mafia thing that I did
I
enjoy all
liked
the way
it.
through. And, oh, I
I
love
watched the
but
first
but it
2 or
had
3 seasons. How many seasons was it? I think I
like
watched all of it.
5
No,
or
I didn't.
6.
I think I watched 3, maybe 2 or 3. Never watched. Not yeah. It just isn't. I mean, what is breaking? It was a cool concept at first. Just seeing him be like, "Oh fuck! Well, I've got to do something to take care of my family."
I like the concept, and it was based off of a true story. Like the whole how he got started. With the
So when I
and
think Marcus, I think the time I stopped watching because I think there was a point in season 3 where it jumped the shark. And I think probably when I thought it jumped the shark, you thought this shit's just picking up.
I love Gus. And for me, that was the excitement of Breaking Bad. Every season, it seemed to get better. Like the like as far as the
It just got less
it,
believable to me. See, that's what I heard was Better Call Saul was excellent.
yeah, Better Call Saul was really good too.
I
The
have not
spinoff.
seen that.
And it does have a lot of. Well, I want to say Better Call Saul. I kind of fell off around the third season or something like that. I don't think it was
How
really
many
due to the
seasons was it?
shit. I want to say like 5 or it went
And
for a good minute.
Odenkirk got like Emmys from that, right?
He did. Hmm.
I mean,
It led him into mainstream movies because since then he's been like the lead in like 3 movies because he was the lead in Nobody. And he's about to reprise his role for Nobody.
see, I've heard Ozarks was great, but I have never seen it. I never watched it.
Ozark, I, I, I want to say I couldn't make it past like the 3rd or 4th episode. It was just I like some of the aesthetics, but for me that one kind of felt boring.
What's his name? Jason Bateman is a cutie.
I like Jason Bateman, and
Me too.
I want to say that was kind of the boring part of it for me was him, and I do love him. It was just in that role, it was like they kept playing with that like where he was struggling to do the bad things, and it was like I mean after that first time he wouldn't. But for me, it was just a little more unbelievable kind of thing.
When he did, I loved Arrested Development.
Me too.
God, that show was so funny.
They're working on a movie right now.
It's money in the banana stands. Always money in the banana stands.
They're supposedly it's supposed to be set up like Austin Powers kind of did, where it's like they're gonna have famous people playing the actors that played the Arrested Development. Like there's somebody gonna be playing, and they're gonna redo the first season within the movie, supposedly something like that. But it's set within the show, like they're doing the movie, and we're gonna see like them watching like the actors play them. I don't know. It sounds fun.
Meta goofy.
Mhm.
That's awesome. What's up, madam? What you been up to?
What's up? I just doing nothing today. Sculpting a little bit.
Did you? So, what shows do you watch? Like, or what's some TV shows you've watched lately that you dug?
I will just rage on. I'll just go on and on about the Penguin because I thought that was the last.
Well, that's like me and Madam. So I watched the Penguin and I was like, dude, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. And so we would talk about every episode.
Amazing. It's just when you see masterpiece, like for instance, Lady Gaga, Abracadabra, right? What a great music video. What a great song. It's enthralling. It's like going through my head like all day yesterday for no reason.
So
there's good
it's
reasons
such a good masterpiece.
they're using it for like 7 commercials. Like it's the theme of March Madness. It's like they're using the F out of Abracadabra, and
let that
it's
bitch get
only
rich.
one hit.
Deserves it.
It's only one hit off of her album.
I know, and that whole album is fire. Have you listened to it,
It is.
Madam?
Mm-mm.
Mayhem. I'll send you the link with it's got all of the songs on it.
Oh,
It's
I've heard Killers. I've seen her perform Killers. Is that on it too?
Killers is good. Yeah,
yes,
Killers.
yes, Killa's on there. I love that. Like that, it's like I was talking to Mike. I was feeling a lot of old like some David Bowie, some fucking a little bit a lot of bit of Talking Heads, a little Elton John at some point, but just like it was very post rockish to me, but all the fun I loved it, but like kind of just an ode to different pop genres. I liked it a lot. Oh my god, I was impressed. And like Mike, Mike's the one that was like, so my brother was always really into Gaga, and I listened to her stuff when she first really got popular, and I was like, yeah, dude, she's fire, she's wild, she's different. This is new pop, like, go girl, put a new spin on it. But then Mike told me, he was like, man, I'm really into Gaga. You don't understand. Like, I know all this, like, you know her shit, like, all of her albums, the lyrics, you're really into it.
I
And
follow her like I follow America. Like, you
um,
like usually if you see America say something or do something, I've already seen it. It's the same thing with Gaga. Like I do follow all her like social, and she's active on all, like especially on YouTube and IG.
and like, so Gaga's not been active in terms of putting out music recently until like a new album, and then she just dropped this in March. But before, she dropped a couple of singles from this, and Mike had told me about it. And
Like what?
and like Disease came out first, and then Abracadabra. And oh my god, those two I fell in love with. I was like, god damn, this bitch is back. But she's,
I gotta correct you because
please,
6 months before Mayhem, she did Joker 2.
you're right, you're
And
right.
that was a whole soundtrack. And then she, on the same day, she released an identical album that went with Joker 2 called Harley.
Okay.
And so technically, in a 6 month span, she dropped 3 albums. But one was specifically like Mayhem was all brand new music.
Yeah, and I watched her talk, like, give some interviews on that, and she was saying that in this one, because she writes all of her songs and produces the music, and so she said in this one, um, I was told to lean into violence and aggression, when so the songs, but in weird context, she was like, so in the songs where I feel most vulnerable, I'm actually the most aggressive, and I come off the most tough, and so the music is like the most beaty, where really I feel the most vulnerable. And then so my songs where I am really coming off strong lyrically in terms of what I'm trying to say, it actually has a very gentle, delicate sound to it. And she's like, that was new and different to me. But man, the album's great.
She has this thing with her current record label because her fans have been titled little monsters.
Yeah.
She has to keep half the album with that mean, aggressive, and the other half with like, soft and romantic songs. So that's why, like, like half this album is like mean, aggressive, and like in your
Mhm.
face kind of stuff, and then the other half is like a slowed down, more romantic. And my favorite off the album is one that's not really talked about, but it's Blade of Grass, and it's the one it's a real life moment for her where I don't know, her fiance, I think they're engaged at the moment. I'm not sure if they've already gotten married because they're doing it
They're
in
engaged, I
secret.
believe.
Okay, so like when he went to go propose to her, since he's more of a low Joe regular guy, he's not as famous as Gaga is, and he's been made fun of it for it. But he's more a regular guy, and he was like, what do I get for the girl that already has everything? And they were in their backyard, and she literally like she was like, you could just give me the world. And he was like, how do I do that? And she picked up a blade of grass and she
Mhm.
just wrapped it around her finger, and that's like their whole
Yes, the
song.
wrapped around. I know now what the song you're talking about.
Hmm.
It's a great song.
It's
It's a great
great.
song. An American Horror Story. Yeah, I
I
mean,
like Gaga. Gaga's a good actor. Well, I mean, she's
and see, that's the thing, is that she's
Yeah,
not just a
she's a good
great
actress.
singer and songwriter, she's an entertainer and performer,
Yeah.
because she performs in those videos.
You have to know how to capture attention and keep it on you, keep eyes on you, and keep people interested in you. And she knows how to do that. For
I
sure.
think this applies to like a lot of singers, actors, like a lot of us, if you're not really like following, you either don't know or forget how many accolades they have behind them. And
Yeah.
that's like Gaga. I mean, like realizing how many Oscars she has, let alone how many Emmys she has, let alone how many Grammys, let alone like
Yeah, she's like a force
just
of nature.
just that. And the only reason she hasn't done the trifecta is because she doesn't want to do theater. She deems it to be too much work for the work she's already like putting in. It's not to say that she couldn't do it. She just doesn't want to.
Well, and see and a lot of the pure actor types, the real
It's in
thespians, a
comedy.
lot of them love doing the theater where it's less reward, but it's more work and more of the art. It's like it's pure, but it's just pure theater. There's nothing else, no bells, and so that's where you get a lot of the Shakespearean actors and the guys that like to go to the theater in London and do stints there because it's very like technical acting, like
Right.
old school legit.
Right.
And
Going back to Abracadabra and like
Mhm.
her having like the vulnerable parts or whatever, being more aggressive.
Mhm.
I was listening to a breakdown of the video because I'm obsessed with it now. And they were saying like because she suffers from some sort of chronic illness which gives her pain, that
Mhm.
lady in red basically was symbolizing her helplessness, I guess,
Mm.
and symbolizing that pain.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. And the whiteness and everything else is the opposite then,
Yeah.
of this.
She has chronic migraines. Just migraines. She's like I think currently she's
got something
she's
else.
like
Not,
well currently she's the spokesperson for like the main
Migraine med.
yeah.
I think she's got something else.
Yeah. Um I know her. Isn't that like Madam Mayhem or something? That's
Mhm.
the name. She's got two like sides. Like, isn't that what you said? You talk about it,
Yeah.
Tom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's got like 6 personalities, and
Okay.
one is so hated they've asked her not to do it anymore. And she's actually like I want to say it was her second album. She actually had a male personality, like where she like actually came live
Like
on
Bowie.
stage.
She has
Yeah.
I don't
fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
Cybermyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
No,
Fibromyalgia.
cybermyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
Fibro. Like cystic
No, but
fibrosis. Fibro.
mhm. But no, she has a couple
Rookie.
different, and I don't remember like all the different names, but they do have specific names. But like the guy thing, she was asked not to do again because she did it live on stage, and it kind of weirded her
People
fans
out.
out, kind of thing. But you can actually see that I forget what video it is, and it's a great song and a good video. But in the video, she's her, and then she's him, and he kind of looks like somebody from West Side Story, like one of the greasers. He has that
Yeah.
style of like.
Yeah.
No, but she has like several personalities, and a lot of her like that's like her videos. They're because she goes like super artsy. 9/11 and 911 is like one of my favorite like videos that she does, but they're more like movies, and it's also a
Productions.
thing of yeah,
Yeah.
it's also a thing of trying to figure out what she's trying to convey because
Yeah.
what she's singing in the song is different than what she's conveying on the screen. They're
Be
like two
symbolic.
different
Yeah.
movies.
Or tell a story.
I remember watching her on the Grammys when she did Paparazzi Live and being so enthralled, like, oh my God, who the hell is this artist? Like, I am in love. This is dramatic. This is engaging. This was creepy.
I remember when she did the meat dress.
The meat dress
Yeah,
coming out of the egg.
That was her first
She's
big breakout
she's
moment.
performed in a vending machine. Like she's done some
She's
weird
like
ass.
Bjork, dude. Only Bjork's got her outdone as the Swan.
Bjork is somebody I wanted to love. I can't get behind her music because it's just a whole bunch of like.
Her voice is like, oh, does your voice sound like a little person?
She reminds me of like our age, like Yoko Ono. I remember my parents because they were big Beatles fans, and I can remember like my dad actually had like VHS recordings of like live performances where they would have to like usher Yoko off a stage because she kept trying to get involved. Like no, like that was kind of like Bjork. Like she was like our '90s version, and we have versions of it now. Like Blue, the rapper, I'd say. He's just this mumble guy that you can't understand anything he's saying, but people like him.
Mumble rap, man. See, I've listened to Doechii. Have you heard like her? She's amazing, dude. And like, you want to talk about she could put she can spit so fast, and her enunciation is like immaculate. And I'm like, I've never, and I think, yeah, she is on Kendrick level. I freaking loved Dochi's Tiny Desk. Anybody that has, NPR's Tiny Desk concert, go check out Dochi. I'll type it, her spelling, the name. But man, she's insanely talented in terms of like the hip hop and R&B rap. She's the shit. She's amazing. Check it.
And she dips into the shit. No, I mean, but
Sorry, my bad.
I think that's like everything. I think everybody has music preferences and art and story. I think it varied. I mean, because that's like my favorite artists or so, and some would say, "Oh, I like that artist." But I mean, if I launched off like a bunch of my favorite artists, like not only would you never heard of them or you think I'd be making them up, but like the other ones you might have heard of, and you're like, like.
I just like hearing new things.
Now I'm curious.
One of my favorite top is not even American. I mean, because I listen to multicultural music, and then
Yeah, he
a
sent
lot
me
of
some stuff.
a lot of times, yeah, like my favorite all-time band, and it comes from watching animes. And some people, and because I know Aaron watches anime, and but it's actually called Porno Graffiti, and that's the name of the band. And like just saying that, most people think I'm making it up, kind of thing, and it's not. It's a real band. They've been around since like the '80s, and they're huge over in Japan, and they're famous over here if you watch anime because they've done like lead songs to some huge anime, like very popular. But no, like you're talking about anticipation. The second they drop an album, I'm right there, and they drop like, and they, since they're more rock related, I want to say we get a new album like once every 4 years, something like that. It's like Tool. I love Tool, but waiting for a new album, it's like, I
It
mean,
takes them a minute.
it used to be once every 4 years, and then they got into like,
They
legal
do different
problems,
bands and
and then
shit.
yeah.
I love Tool, but I loved Perfect Circle and
Lucifer.
Yes.
Lucifer.
Yeah, I like Lucifer. I like Perfect Circle, and they all have like their unique differences. But that's like White Zombie to right and Rob Zombie. I like them.
Sorry, I'm responding to email, even though I'm on my.
I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm like, I hear fast typing, and I don't know why.
I already knew what she was doing, even though she lied to us. She said she was like,
I'm a workaholic, y'all.
She's sneaking in the work.
Caroline, I can't help but like get my shit done for people that pay me money.
Don't have to apologize.
No horrible quality.
If I could sit here and take care of work stuff, don't you think? I mean, then I don't. No, I would definitely be doing it. If I could knock out like and getting paid for it, yes. Like,
yeah, I just these guys. I'm at this new position where, hold on, I want to be able to look in the camera. I'm at this new position that has excellent leadership and a healthy work environment.
You have to say it twice.
Healthy leadership.
The first time it registers. The second time,
an excellent work environment, a healthy work environment.
That's
and
when it gets
so
to be.
Because of that, I have been lucky enough to take a week vacation. However, my boss has a crazy schedule, and I want to take it upon myself to Pussifer. I'm gonna take it upon myself to go the extra mile so that I maintain a good working relationship. Yeah, it's goofy.
Well, you go, girl. You go.
Yeah, it is something. It is what it is.
Raised by wolves, you were.
What's that?
I said, raised by wolves, you were.
Me? No, oh my God. I was raised by like the crazy parents that they've made me like paranoid about not being good enough when it comes to work. That's what I've got. That's what
Were you blinking because what he wrote in the chat? Because you were all of a sudden like,
who's blinking?
Caroline. They were like, blink twice if you need help. All of a sudden, she just
Oh,
starts
yeah.
blinking. I'm like, you're not supposed to start blinking. I'll be right back.
You're looking at
When you were talking about your workplace, I think.
all right. As he say about Lucifer, Raised by Wolves was such a great show. I remember Dances with Wolves, but not Raised by Wolves.
I don't remember it unless you're talking about now.
No.
In which case, I can't
Raised
even
by
remember.
Wolves applies to aliens,
New
actually.
events. Steve.
What is the plot for Raised by Wolves?
What?
I was saying it's close to aliens.
My people, my own boss, and the dean of basic sciences in the School of Medicine. Location.
Hello, strange dogs, comic stuff, and wrestling.
Huh? Comics wrestling.
Cheetah Man and Godfather, of course.
Okay, doom. Not all day. From 9 a.m. I'm just gonna say 9 a.m.
And I'm going to be on the Heroes for Hire Comic Club on YouTube tonight at 8, I believe,
Okay.
with Matt.
Sorry, guys.
So come check me out.
I'm back. My bad.
I'm just trying to make up for no noise, just typing.
No, hey. Yeah, sorry, guys. I was being.
Big abandonment.
I had to schedule a meeting in Microsoft Outlook for the boss man. So, y'all, the NIH, it's so crazy right now. I'm not going to talk about what I can't control. I'm going to talk about Diablo, pop culture.
So
you're
real quick,
what?
Raised by Wolves is
All right.
is a TV show that they did on HBO Max. And it's done
When?
by Ridley Scott. I want to say like it started like maybe 2017, something like that. And it probably ended out like 2020, I want to say, something like that. It's a sci-fi show. It's done by Ridley Scott, the director of Aliens. Like,
Yeah, he's.
um, it has phenomenal actors. The only downside to it is, as far as I remember, and I watched the 3 seasons that I don't think it's finished, and I don't think they're going to be able to finish it, kind of thing. I'll let maybe Aaron or somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like Westworld, because that's another show, like a sci-fi show. Did you ever watch that one, Westworld, on
Yeah.
HBO?
Yeah, with
I know what you're talking
Ed
about,
Harris.
but I don't think I've
Ed
ever watched.
Harris and Anthony Hopkins
And that girl, Rachel something. What's her name?
yeah, and
Whites.
it's got a bunch of like dudes.
Yeah.
The whole damn cast is like, it's got like James. It's got the guy that played Cyclops. It's got
James Morrison.
it's got. I'm so bad with names, but it's Jeffrey Wright. And like,
I was just
and
gonna
it's
say
got,
Jeffrey Wright, the guy from Basket.
I love Jeffrey Wright. I was trying. He was the one I was trying to remember his name like the whole time.
Did you see Basket? Did you see John Basket? Yeah, because he was great in that. My God.
No, but Westworld is another thing where it's like it was phenomenal, and it gets
Sounds
to
intense.
well, it gets to a spot in story wise where we were finally getting answers and stuff, and then they kind of cut it off, and we don't think it's ever coming back, kind of thing. All right, my drink's ready. I'll be right back.
Oh wow! It announced it was ready for him.
Yeah, my drink's ready. I think it squeaked at him about conflict between religion and science. Whew. Man.
Since I saw someone in the chat, I just want to show off my copy of This Is the Doctor #1 right here.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone likes these or not, but I recommend highly.
See, I think science is and religion can coexist. I just think it's dangerous when people try to adopt science as their religion. Like, because that's different. Science is a method that you employ when you want to observe something about the natural world, but it's not a religion. Religion is something else. Which I mean,
Well, that's what you're believing in, I guess.
yeah. So I'm saying like the conflict between science and religion. Like I think that science can exist in one place, and religion can. I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive. Like you could be religious and be into science. I think where the danger lies is if you adopt science as your religion. So that's when they would mingle, and you're just saying like science is my god. Like it's like okay, well that's
Both those shows played with those ideas, but it's more of an idea that these people aren't aware that it's science that they're putting their faith into, that they think it's a religion. And that has happened within our world. You're talking about Amazon, like there is a reason why humanity is not allowed or supposed to be allowed to mess with like, indigenous like islanders and
bioethics.
stuff.
We're talking about
Well,
ethics.
no, it could be like, I mean, you're talking about like if like you as a
Romulan
person,
Marine.
if you weren't aware of technology and like you already had like a farm type, clan thing going with, you and 20 people that didn't know, technology and stuff like that. And if you came across a piece of technology without knowing what it was, like seeing that it had advancements that you were not aware, like how it was, like there has been times where we, humans have put faith in that, and and I'm talking about it could have been a stop sign, like in the actual like and Stephen King riffed at this. Okay, one of the actual cultures and history had found an oil tanker, and they thought that oil tanker was a god, and they
Yeah, yeah,
literally like
yeah.
they
That's like
literally prayed to it, and
the
it
gods must be
literally,
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, so but that show didn't
that's like
the
serendipity.
that show doesn't play around with that concept. It's more, that show is more like technology versus religion. There's one in the show, it's literally about like a planet of people that invest, their lives in a religious sense. And then there's
Romulus and
another,
Remus were the founders of Rome, but I don't understand. Well, the Romulus and Remus is, I think it's a
Huh?
Roman story, but I can be
It
wrong.
is. It's Romulus and oh yeah, the raised by wolves thing. It's because
Yeah,
they
they sucked their
were raised
mom.
by a wolf,
Yeah,
suckling.
they were suckling at her little teats.
I don't off wolf teeth. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Um,
go out with you, man. It's kind of like that, like a lava lamp, both have purpose in the world.
um,
I wouldn't say good or bad purpose because both can be used, good or bad.
Oh, I like the cheat out man's.
your opinion does
My
count.
opinion. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like the
lava
god
lamp.
of the lava lamp. Yeah.
Well,
I like
yeah,
that.
sure. They both have different purposes. I think
Homogeneous.
one is used to assess the natural world and the things that observable phenomenon, but like, and then one is used as a way of sustaining your spiritual like growth and well-being.
It's a bunch of stuff. I mean, you're talking about like the question of everything. That's science in a
Like, I
nutshell.
don't know if I'm necessary. Like, religion has its place, and I think it's good for people that get meaning out of it. I like, there's a difference between it and spirituality. Like religion is one way you could nourish your spirituality, but like other things can nourish spirituality too, like being out in nature, like, having meditating or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever works best for you. I'm not saying what you should do or what is. I'm just saying do what you want.
It's usually just faith bases, like material, and it's usually the difference. That's why I tend to believe in science versus religion. I'm not saying that I do one way or the other, but I do lean towards the science because I am a more, give me proof, give me that material. And hey, Rob,
Right. I
um,
value science in the context of daily metric sort of things, whereas like religion, there's a time and a place, and I think it is good for community. It was very good for community cohesion, especially in times where you didn't have big cities or whatever in rural areas. It's very important for like I said, social harmony and well-being, because it also teaches like ideals that maintain the social like
Norms and stuff and expectancies.
maintain the well-being of the norm, which is take care of other people and like it takes a village kind of shit. It gets dangerous, when you try to use it as a form of rule or something, like when you get to the papal states and the papacy and shit. That was a little wild. Like, let's just calm down on popeism.
I think all of them can be negative.
Everything taken to an extreme.
Every religion, I think, can be a negative in some way if you look at it.
Extremism, period.
I was raised Methodist, and then I went to Catholic school for 12 years.
Methodist.
And I was confirmed when I was 13. And today I am completely just a non-believer. So
that law also applies to signs, because depending on which hand you put that signs in, it could go bad or good as well. That's why they made that movie Oppenheimer.
I'll look at COVID.
No,
just
I mean,
we could do it doesn't mean we should do it.
Yeah. So you want a hot take here? Well,
Yeah.
How about this? Religion and simulation theory are one and the same.
Pretty much.
You know why I'd say that? Because we were programmed to believe in something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Programmed. Why is that?
I think we're not programmed. I think we just automatically know this because we can see the stars above us and we can see the moon far away. And
no, he used the right word. He used the right word because he's not talking about evolution, like that it was embedded in. No, we've done that ourselves. Humanity over like thousands of years have,
we're capable of both good and evil.
How many cultures have we had that never wrote a single thing down? And all we got was just an oral representation of their history from the beginning of time. We thought the beginning of time really was the start of Sumeria. And then we dig up Göbekli Tepe, and it goes back another 5,000 years. We find out that everything that we hear about Noah and all that comes from the fact that it did happen. While you did have some cultures that didn't write a damn thing down,
the young and dry.
You can actually see it right off of the Indonesian coast. There's an 18 kilometer wide crater, and it's called the Brekel crater. And this is what's thought to have been caused the Noah event, where it flooded the entire area, where you talk about the Vedas, the Christian Bible. They all have the same kind of thing where they're talking about heat and ejecta coming from the atmosphere, raining down upon them as the floods start to get higher and higher. Most of the oral representations, they say it. It's right there.
You're talking about when all like pre-modern civilizations all have the same flood story. Like, yes, it did happen. Like
all of those old religions have like a savior story, where it has to do with the sun being being resurrected and shit. It's all
you as a scientist, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern, 60 different times. That's not a pattern. That's a correlation from one time period to the next, and they all line up around that 6,000 years.
There also has to be physical there has to be physical evidence, right?
Yeah, and that was discovered in 2006 with the Brekel crater.
Right. Yeah. But see, like there's certain religions that are they're all the same, like in terms of they're basically an amalgamation of the same kind of story. Like
I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Rob might know, but I think they actually found
we
like
love
pieces
you, legend.
of
We're good.
Noah's Ark or whatever.
We're just entertaining conversation.
I think they actually found
me and Stephanie, we love you, brother. I believe this is what
we all like to wonder.
I'm not saying that I know if Jesus Christ was real. That's not for me to say. But this is what I do know. I believe in the golden rule, that I'm going to treat others the way I want to be treated.
There's also
the funny thing is, to say that Jesus existed or not, that would be like saying in Miami, do we have a guy by the name of Jesus that lives in Miami? Of course there's a guy by the name of Jesus.
I just feel like that's not the important thing to take from the Bible. It's not important to say he was real or not. It's important to be a good person. It's
well,
more
it's hard
Yeah,
to
and that's
spirit
recognize
of the
okay.
a
earth.
spiritual person,
So
and
there,
he was recognized as a prophet
That's what
among
you should take from it.
most religions.
but there's also things that people forget, and I know Great Legend.
Being a good
You know, he
person is the first thing
no.
they'll forget.
Well, here's the thing. In his resurrection, there was something that was stated that you, as a good person, would never get to see again, and that was Jesus. If after his resurrection, he only helped out the bad, the sinful, if you were a good person, you didn't come across him anymore. You didn't need his help, kind of thing. You already lived that life. In the
Yeah.
Bible, it states this. Like, so if you believe and have faith, he is walking among us. Just, I mean, if you know, I mean, he's not going to show up unless you start
But
doing
like, I
bad stuff.
guess he's walking among
Harder
us in the
for a rich
sense that
man
he
than
can
to
be found in
remember.
all of our hearts because we are the good that is manifesting. You know
Well,
what I
that's already
mean?
there.
We
That's the
can
Son and
find
the
God in
Father.
all of us. We
In the
have to
Holy
apocryphal
ask him.
Ghost.
gospels, it's right in there where it says, "You need not seek me in a house made of stone and mortar. Lift a stone and I am there. Cleave a tree and
Mhm.
you will find me."
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go to a building.
Of the earth, I think.
And it's not
No.
about getting it
The
on tape
universe.
or about, it's about being the kind of human that you would just be
So we were
good.
talking about like pop culture stuff, and this does like a movie did ask this question recently, and really good, and it almost touches on almost everything we did, and with a fantastic actor in its lead, and it was highly praised. Have y'all seen the movie Heretic with Hugh
No, but I
Grant?
want
Recently,
to.
yes,
Mm-mm.
I
it was
love that
really
movie.
good.
Talk
Yes,
to
it
me
was.
about it. Who's in it?
Okay,
And
so
Hugh Grant.
well,
Yeah.
okay, the only one I can remember is Hugh Grant because as far as I know, I think all the other girls are like maybe brand new or early career, you know, but I'm not saying that they all were excellent actresses and actors, you know. Okay, but he's the headliner. And no discredit to the other. I'm just bad at names. All right,
sure.
so and you're lucky you're getting Hugh Grant. Okay, so
Sophie
um
Thatcher, that's the one that I remember, and she dies. Oh, spoiler alert.
Okay, so
And they all die
it is a
eventually.
horror flick, but not in your general sense. It's a horror flick. It's more
Thriller.
it's more
Thriller.
intelligent horror, like because it's more
Is
the
it like
think.
suspense or?
It's a
Yes,
slow burn. So
yes.
it's one of those, like, if you remember the movie Inglorious Bastards, where you have Christoph Waltz and he comes upon this home, and you know the Jews are living underneath, and what the audience knows that Waltz knows, so you're just waiting to see when the snap is going to be, and that's the feeling of the movie the entire time.
It reminds me of Hateful Eight in that regard, like
I
because
mean, I know
Hateful
what a
Eight was
martyr
the.
is, but I haven't
Okay,
heard of the show
so what
Martyrs.
the movie is
Ooh,
about is
Martyrs is
about
just oof.
and I might be wrong about this, but it's about Jehovah Witnesses, and it's about kind of their procedures and how they operate in a modern day society.
So Michael Jackson's family.
And these two, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to call them workers, but these two Jehovah Witnesses workers, or I don't know what they're called, like the you know, door to door people. Every now and
Maybe
then,
missionaries. Maybe they call them missionaries. I don't know.
maybe.
They're essentially the same
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah, same thing. Okay, but they every now and then these we know they go door to door, and most of the time you just close the door and move on your day. Okay, within their working stature, they set up meetings where they go counsel, and this does involve going into people's houses, but supposedly beforehand it's all like arranged and set up for like both sides safety, you know, like the missionary safety and like the people that are in the house's safety. And this movie is a lot about that concept. Like that's part of the movie. The other part is really breaking down people's idea of, you know, religion, if it's a real thing or if it's not, and comparisons to, you know, I mean, just it really goes into that thing that people forget, and that's like Christianity. Like they think it's like, and I'm not this, I don't, you know, just I'm not hating on anybody's beliefs or anything like that. I'm, you know, but it does go off of, you know, that there have been like other iterations that are exactly like Christianity that predate Christianity that have the same motif, plan, set up like to the T, where they have their own Bible, holy tablets, you know, like and people kind of forget that. And that was one of my favorite comparisons. And Rob, if you remember, but the board game, with Monopoly, that people forget that Monopoly was originally something else, kind of thing.
Yeah, we're just going to take it and just rejigger it a little bit and call it our own, like the Romans did with everything.
Mhm. And no, so if you like this movie, I would deem is only powerful if you struggle with either like a strong belief in religion or like a strong like anti-stance to religion. If you're like in the middle for some reason, I don't see this movie hitting as well. Like if you don't question these
See,
things,
I think
It's not
people
going to
like
change your mind, but it will make you think.
it
religion
will
is
make you think.
only bad when you want to like impose yours upon someone that doesn't want it to be imposed on. That's the only time, like when you try and force it. Like I say, believe what you want to and do what makes you feel whole.
What's
But
funny you
maybe
bring that up because that is a strong concept within that movie, and it's one of the concepts that he,
as
brings
long as
up.
you're not hurting other human being, as long as other people aren't, you're not getting that satisfaction at another's expense.
Yeah.
Do no harm unto others. That's the
This
first.
this one goes into like I want to say a lot of different
Short of that,
concepts
do whatever
that
makes you
float.
happy.
This one goes around like a lot of different concepts that just float around the taboo of religious and non-religious people, and it really plays hard into those
And this is
well-known.
Heretic,
Yeah,
and it's just a
Heretic.
movie. It's not a show.
It's
It's
on
just a
Netflix
movie.
right now.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I highly recommend it, but I do know that it won't hit as much as I loved it for everybody. And I can tell you, I'm not even so much as a Hugh Grant fan. Like I do like some of his films, but he's more like romantic
He's
comedy
a
guy.
rom-com
Yeah.
guy.
He's a
too.
rom-com guy.
I'm not
But
hating
if
on
you
that,
look
but
it
I
up
mean,
on Rotten Tomatoes, it's damn near 100%.
Heretic.
So if I
Is
see
Yeah.
a movie
Really?
like that,
Wow.
Is it?
oh,
I'm going to have to go. I need to see that
I
and
need to
judge
see
for
it
myself.
too.
I mean, this year, and I stated this before. We this was the year of like horror movies. We got fantastic entries, and
Substance should have won the
The
Oscar.
Substance was amazing. I've watched it 3 times now. I
Yep.
love that movie, and it's a hard watch, but you're talking about it's
Yeah,
so
Mike made me watch it.
it's
Yeah.
so done well. I mean, just the soundtrack gets you into the movie, like the visual scenes, and everybody that I've talked to, it's the one scene that bothers them worse than the body horror stuff. It's that Randy Quaid eating the shrimp for like
Quaid
the
is
8
No, that
minutes.
did not bother me the most. And that was
Oh,
it
I know.
Randy Quaid? That was Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, I'm sorry.
Dennis is the normal one.
I was like,
Randy's
It's
Randy
one of
Quaid
the Quaids.
Randy is
If it was
She's the
Randy, it
goofy
would have
one.
been NC-17.
If it was
sure,
Randy, that would have been
If it was
all
Randy
over.
Cousin
Quaid,
Eddie.
the shrimp thing would have been normal.
Cousin Eddie.
You know, right?
Cousin Eddie. What up, Bog? Hope you're doing well.
But yeah,
man.
they were doing similar things like from Dexter, where, yeah, let's see the violence from far away, but he's just eating shrimp. But they just kept getting those close up where you just see the gnashing of the teeth as it pulls away from the meat.
Because the overall, and that's not all it is, because you will hear that's all it is body horror. That's not all it is. It does have a huge part of the
conceptual.
movie. Yes.
Yeah, and
But
Because this
I
woman
wanna
is
say,
clearly mentally afflicted to continue to harm herself the way
yes,
that it is, because your
that's
brain is still in the same person regardless of where you're at. But she just hated seeing the sight of this younger person that she knew wasn't hers, but while she was in that body was acting like I'm
I can
back in
say
my
that
20s again.
that's the best idea like that I found in the movie that I fell in love with. I wanted to see why she kept hurting herself and what was this, and we already know the answer, which I love, and it's, does the movie showcase this? And I love that part too. Like I thought they did a fantastic job, but and it's stepping over those boundaries and showcasing those ugly sides that aren't normally shown, like the eating in the face.
I think the eating
When
thing
they get to the
pretty
best actress portion of the Oscars and I didn't hear her name, I'm like, Mikey Day. That doesn't sound like to me more.
Oh my God, I just say lol all the time. I'm such a fucking millennial.
There's
Lol.
a
Lol.
there's an affliction, I think, and it's called something with an M, but it's you can't stand the sound of people chewing. And that's a real thing. And I did,
misophonia.
yes, that's it. And I did my 23andMe or whatever, and I have that, and that all makes sense now. Because whenever I would go to the movie theater with my mom, and she would eat popcorn next to me, it would drive me insane.
My brother
Just
is
to hear her
inflicted.
crunching, just to hear her crunching the popcorn. I would like not even want to go.
Like 10 clicks, you
I
know,
get
when you
that
got the
with
pen.
irregular
clicks.
noises.
And see, I do that. I am such a stimmer. Like I
I
always
like
have to be diddling with something. Like, ooh,
Me too. I
happened.
love like
Yes.
what do you call it? Okay, so like and what's more like smart and conscious than taking something that's super relevant right now, like ASMR stuff. I mean, like incorporating that into the movie, just that sound and visual, like there's no story there. I mean, it's just like you can't even hear what Dennis Quaid is really saying to the girl when he's doing that. You know, it's really just that
It's so distracting.
it's a different type of horror. I love that, you know, like
They might as
I'm a
well have
different
just had
type of
his
horror.
voice retract as all you hear is just.
yeah, where it just zones out.
Did you see the menu? With my friends?
I did.
No.
I'd like a doggy bag, please.
BRB. I gotta go to the ladies' room real quick.
You're good.
BRB.
I'd
The
like
menu-
a s'mores hat,
Don't
please.
promote yourselves.
The menu is good, and I love Ralph Fiennes, but for me it was like a one-time watch. I don't like after you get to the.
No, it was so good because the second time around, you pick up on everything that you
I don't know if I
couldn't pick
needed
up on
to
the
watch
first
it.
time because you were just discovering it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's
And,
kind of like watching a regular episode, any random episode of Black Mirror. You watch it the first time and go, that was fucked up. Then you watch it again and go, wow, this was master class in storytelling. Because
Yeah.
they'll just give you a little piece here, a little piece there, and then it builds on it until it goes full bore into the ending. And you're going, I didn't even notice that at the beginning. And that wound up right there at the end of the story. And the whole thing starts with a politician fucking a pig. So you're going, well, this is all just shock treatment. And it is to an extent, but it's modern horror.
Yeah. Black Mirror,
We're
I
not
don't know
going
if
back
I've
to
ever
freaks.
had the desire to go back and rewatch. I'd love Black Mirror, but I don't know if I've ever actually rewatched it. Might have to.
We're like watching Groundhog's Day for the first time, and then you watch it again and again and again and again and again, and it all fits.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it has that significance for me because I have seen it a bunch of times, like growing up and stuff. For me, certain movies have that, like, and they pull it off well, like Fight Club. Like after you watch it the first time, and then you go back with the, knowing what's going on. It's like watching a whole different movie because you're throwing in Tyler Durden here, and or you're removing it. That's
My
like the
favorite thing
I think
about Fight
it's
Club
times in the
is
movie.
this fact. The director, when he was told by somebody that was dating his teenage daughter, Fight Club is my favorite movie, he told his daughter later on, find a new boyfriend. That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
I could go with that. And I will say I did watch it a lot back in the day.
Oh, me too.
But I don't know about it being my favorite movie. And
It was
Because that's a twist ending.
Love to watch.
I love Fight Club.
It was
Like the twist ending was the same ending basically as
it was not a feel good movie.
No, it wasn't.
Just like
pull the rug out from you.
It was kind of like a, oh my God, am I crazy movie?
What's
Like,
that
I
movie
never
that's
thought about- maybe I'm the crazy one here.
it made me feel so bad. It's the one with
Kids.
well, that one's
And Kids was
really bad.
rough.
But that
Basketball
one's
Diaries.
bad. It's the one with
Basketball Tigers was rough.
fucking Jared Leto and Ellen Burstyn. It's about
Requiem for a Dream. I took a
Dream?
date to go watch that on our first date, and well, that was a mistake, but
I love that
Jennifer
movie, but yeah,
Connelly
that's
is
a rough
doing
movie.
the butt. They're the
Yeah.
double-sided
The
thing.
plug-in.
double anal. That guy should have won an Oscar.
Oh my god.
Dude, his arm by the end of that movie, that's what freaked me out. Not the sex, not that dude's arm.
Oh, his
and,
rotted
like,
arm.
yeah,
Oh,
like
And the
I was
electrolysis.
Oh, the
on-
old lady with the pills being pilled out. I
Ellen
felt
Burstyn should have won an Oscar for
she
that.
was amazing.
But that's like, have y'all seen Buyers Dallas Club? That's another like, where you
Yeah.
Remember
it's hard.
Trainspotting? That was a tough
Yeah.
one.
The
The
baby on the
baby.
ceiling. I
The
just watched the sequel to that.
the
The toilet
freaking
scene.
baby
The
dying.
toilet scene is
When he
it's like the
dives in
opening
to go,
scene.
when he dives in to go get
Worst
the
toilet in
And
Scotland.
then they go right in to get a hit, and then they're like, and then she's like, "Can I get a hit first?" And he's like, "No, me first," or something. It's like, damn, that's cold.
Oh, we're nerds. Chill out, man, and you're always welcome. I haven't seen Rocky 4, but I heard what was his name? He's got the
Tommy
same
Gunn?
Michael Jordan. Was that the one that's in it? Or am I thinking of the wrong name? Not Michael Jordan, something
No,
else.
no, no.
It's
That's
just-
you're talking about Creed, and that's later on.
but he said Rocky 4. Oh, is Rocky? Who's
Because
in
I
Rocky?
think there's like 5. I think there's like 5 or
Rocky
6
4.
Rockies.
Oh, 1985. Oh, this one is a Drago. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where he
Yeah,
plays a Russian.
that was the
isn't that
one
his
where
name?
he was actually being hit by
With Dolph
Ivan Drago.
Lundgren. Didn't he play
Yeah.
Drago?
Yeah,
Yeah, Ivan
and he
Drago.
and he
He's a
reprises his-
physicist in real life. He's a genius.
He
Yeah,
is
he
Dolph
is.
Lundgren. Oh, Mr. T's Part 3. Yeah.
That fourth one, those hits were real.
Who was part 2? Was it Apollo again?
Creed.
Yeah,
Apollo.
that's when he
Yeah.
finally wins against Apollo Creed.
Okay.
Four
I
was
thought that was all one movie.
Four was the Russian.
4
Yeah.
was Dolph
Five
Lundgren.
is
Yeah.
the one
Ivan
we
Drago.
5 is when we meet his son, because that's like in the future. Well, I mean,
That's the
it's-
training montage.
Lundgren
and
gave Stallone
so-
a concussion. No shit. I believe it.
I
They
believe it.
probably gave each other concussions. God.
Probably made them best friends
Stallone's
too.
really
That's how we
smart.
got Expendables.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you know that
Expendables was so good.
Stallone's super intelligent, and like nobody knows, but he's super intelligent. But just because he talks like he talks, you would not think it. You know what I mean?
You're talking about at the time. I don't even think most people knew he was the director. Like, I mean, he was writing and directing it at that time, and starring in his, and most of his successful were his most popular stuff. I mean, that's usually not the case with most directors that direct themselves. Like,
Unless you're
usually
Kevin
those
Costner.
movies are the worst.
You know what I'll talk about? We want to.
I
So,
like some.
I give Mark Legion of Comics hell because he's fucking in love with Tom Cruise and thinks he's the next Electric Jesus, and I'm just like Tom Cruise.
He's getting
Woo.
old.
I
And
like
he's like,
Tom Cruise.
it's a stunt, and he does all this.
Not
He
old
does.
yet. He's not
Jackie
that old.
Chan's good,
Yeah,
and
Jackie Chan.
Michelle Yao. What
Michelle
a fat
Yao.
ass.
Okay,
all-
what's
I
the
mean-
name of the guy that plays Better Call Saul?
Odenkirk
Bob
yeah.
Odenkirk.
Okay, Bob Odenkirk. I don't know if you've seen it, the movie Mr. Nobody, that fight scene on the bus. He did all his stunts because he wasn't cutting away and you're seeing him from the back. No, you're seeing these hard shots where he's getting his face shoved into like a pole on a bus. And yeah, he does his own shit too.
Here's
Go back
like
to
how
work, James.
So here's like how one-sided we are with their actors. We don't even realize that most of them have like either famous bands or books or like, stuff like that. You're talking about Ed Hardy. I mean, Tom Hardy is like a 3-time black belt, like martial arts, like
Brazilian
that.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
or
he's like,
something?
and he does that like to this day. Like you're talking about, I can't name off how many like famous like people that act that also have like famous bands, but it's like Stephen King. He has like a famous bluegrass band that he
I
tours
watched
with.
him.
Dan
I watched him
Band?
play with Anne Rice down here at the Miami Book Festival.
Kevin
Dr.
Bacon?
Lucky bastard.
Dr. Dan.
I mean, you're talking, Kevin Bacon. You're talking about like,
Sergeant Dan.
what's his name?
Oh,
Yeah,
did you know that? Oh God, what is her name? I think her name is Amanda Seyfried or whatever. She sings. She
Yeah.
did. She played. She
She
sang.
was in Les Miserables. She acted.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about
was
like
in the
Jada
Mean
Pinkett
Girls.
Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith had like a
Yeah.
heavy hardcore like rock band that she was the
She even
lead.
wrote a
She's
Will
comic.
Smith.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves. I mean, he's done the comic thing, but he
Yeah.
also
Paris
has like
Hilton.
a alternative.
I went to
band.
watch her play.
Yeah.
It was
Phoenix,
free.
the rapper.
Yep.
Come
Johnny
see my
Depp,
computer
Corey
live.
Feldman.
Paris Hilton makes sense though. Lionel Richie
That's
and
true.
Richie. I mean, they're all right there. I'm pretty sure like Richie got tired of hanging out with her, and he was like, "Hey, you want to make some music?" And, like Corey Feldman, yeah, he's another one.
I think it was the other way around because Richie was doing the drugs.
It probably was, but you never know. No, but that's like, yeah, Corey Feldman. And Corey Feldman's more popular with his band than he is acting lately.
Paris
Macaulay
Hilton.
Kinda lost
Culkin.
his damn mind.
Yeah. One night in Paris. We know, James. That was
I
so
remember
good.
that being sold on bootleg DVDs in the early 2000s at
I remember
comic
all the
shops.
guys talking about it and just
Yeah.
being like, "Y'all are gross."
Yeah.
I've never seen
It was shitty video. How can you get off to something that looks like it was shot with night vision?
Yeah. I love The Simple Life. I'm not gonna lie,
Kardashians is so much better.
dude. If you guys ever watched The Simple Life,
Walmart? Is that
Love
where
it.
they sell walls?
dude, it was hilarious. I'm sorry, I loved it.
It was a giant character. I met her in real life because I was working at a place called Swiss Watch International back in the day. And I watched The Simple Life just like all y'all. So I'm expecting, oh, this woman's going to be an idiot. She's coming in to try and
She's
sell
so
her brand of
smart.
watches. And yeah, she is not an idiot. She is very much on the nose, on the ball. She knew her shit. She was just a little bit cheap where she was sourcing some of her materials because she had these white watches where all the whites were like a different shade of white, but not intentionally.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's like, people were like embedded to hate for like silly things. That's like Paris Hilton and Richie. Like I didn't mind them. I might not have like watched all their shows or whatever, but
Oh, they're
like
funny.
they didn't bother me, kind of thing. I
No, they
didn't.
didn't. Nicole Richie's really smart and witty and funny, dude.
I liked her
Cracks
because
me up.
she's pretty, and then the daughter of Lionel Richie. Come on, I like Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
There are
If all you
some.
knew from them was whatever you saw on TV, and then you meet them in real life, you're going to go,
You'd be
one of
surprised,
these
yeah.
things not like the other.
The other. Hey, so who knew that her whole thing on TV is a gimmick, and she's rocking that gimmick well. I'm
Did
I'm
you
not
see
hating.
that Bill Burr and Billy Corgan are half brothers?
And okay, that's a going like joke or
No.
well, it's undetermined. No, it is, and it's all
No.
started by Howie Mandel.
Yeah, but did
Like
you see that show?
I did, and there's been like 6 of them. Like they talk about it daily.
up.
That's how. Okay, so the
I
truth
think they
behind the
confirmed
story.
it.
The truth behind the story is, and the problem is with Bill Burr, he won't do a DNA test. That's your problem. Okay, Billy Corgan's for the DNA test, and there is a lot of similarities with their like stories. They do have fathers that have the same names. They were both left. Both their fathers was a
Named both of their
musician.
kids Bill.
They did name. Okay, there, but like there's a lot of like unsimilar stories because when you hear when Bill Burr first heard about it, he was pissed, and when they
Yeah.
were talking about their fathers, like he was mad that Billy Corgan hadn't reached out to him like behind the scenes, but it wasn't really Billy Corgan. It was Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel being a jerk.
Yeah, he was being a dirt
What
because
up,
he was.
Six Face?
I forget, and I want to
John.
say it was like an internet joke that had where Howie Mandel got it. It was like a meme, like somebody like clever that was like, "Ah, Bill Burr and Billy Corgan, they're both bald white guys, and they're both named Billy, and
Yeah.
guess what? They both got a dad named Bill."
But Howie Mandel didn't know how to read the room, bro. He shouldn't have never done that.
Ooh, it pissed off Bill Burr. I mean, you're talking about it took a week
It
and
was
a half
shitty.
before he even like responded to anything publicly about it.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was fun to watch. Like it
It's
has
invasion
been.
of privacy.
Because
for
right
sure.
now they're Billy and Billy. They're both at like friend. Now they're joking around.
Billy
Okay,
Corgan
so-
actually does not. He doesn't live with. Billy Corgan has a young wife that's like Asian and 30. Maybe
He's
and
also
he's
been
got
like
2 little kids.
he also spent like 20 years where he didn't really mingle with like famous people, and so
Yeah.
that's like also another part of the problem is people are fucking with him.
So like Courtney, like I think cheated on Billy to hook up with Kurt, and the rest was history. Like she was messing. Well, she was playing with both of them. I know that. Billy can tell you. Like he's talked about it. Their mansion is split in half. Are you sure? If that's true, man, that's crazy. Because I don't think so. I think Billy Corgan. I know he's married to a younger woman and they have young kids. Like I know this. Oh, let's see.
This is a fact.
I know there's a couple things about Howie because he has
Is
the
that the
whole.
goddess Nike that I'm looking at?
And we're
Mhm.
What? Oh yeah, it looks like Nike, doesn't it? Huh?
Yeah, he's married to Chloe Mendel.
That was just my guess because art history student and all.
That's a good guess. But actually, what happened is that
He's married to Billy's sister. I mean,
she was holding a bunch of people up in a tree. And I decided I was going to move that whole section back, and then it kind of broke. And I was like, I had ripped it
That
off.
is wonderful.
Left with this so far.
Let's make
add some wings.
Oops, sorry, my bad.
Shit here.
This is one of those portions where looking at it, it looks like it's finished.
Oh, thanks.
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Madeline
good.
is
A lot
a
worse.
very, very talented young lady.
Hey, Sid.
She has a bronze. What is it? 10 foot? How big is that bronze in the Capitol?
I don't think she realizes we can't hear her when she walks away from the microphone.
Just let her believe we did.
She.
So that sucker's 50 feet tall, huh?
But
Yeah, 50 feet.
And we couldn't hear you when you walked away.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
that's her ball of people.
This was going to be like the Tree of Life kind of Garden of Eden reference, because although I am not now, I was raised so religiously. This was on top of her, and still could be.
Oh,
She goes backwards.
a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it was going to be like.
She did this after she washed the substance.
Yeah. So a lot of these are just body parts that I had from other statues.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I just have
It's like Katamari Damacy.
just a conglomerate of body parts.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were doing like a Hieronymus Bosch retrospective, like in hell, that would be a great side piece.
You just named one of my favorite artists. In fact, I used to have a Hieronymus Bosch bathroom where I featured.
You had the triptych Gates of Hell?
Yes, in fact, I saw the Gates
I
of
love
Hell
you.
Prado,
Right.
in the Prado
Like, hi.
in Madrid.
Dude, you should check out her bathroom. You should show us your bathroom, the one that you decorated. I love her bathroom. It's amazing. You want to do
It's
it?
made her
Take
laugh.
us on a tour of your shitter.
I can't.
Okay. Fine.
Bosch dirty.
Let me think about it.
But like when she was redoing her bathroom, it was like a wonderscape, and it's like got all these gold trim mirrors, and it's
Okay.
I love
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna take you to that.
She
She's
doesn't want me
unplugging
to.
the computer and getting us ready.
She's like, I'm taking you bitches.
You can see the smile on her face that she wanted to do it, but she's just trying to logistically figure out how to do this.
Wrong one. Take us on a tour to see her shitter. It's a really magical place. You guys would really like to poop here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling you, it's the truth.
You should have seen where I went last week. I did a prenuptial agreement signing, and you go to these things and you expect it's going to be the male asking for a prenup from the wife. No, it was the other way around, because the wife was this like billionaire because of her parents, and she's in real estate. The other guy's in real estate, and looking at their walls, like their bathroom looked like it cost more than 10 of these houses that I live in right now.
Shit.
Yeah, she's just got to make sure that there's no poop or anything gross.
Okay, I'm almost done.
That's what James. I'm with James. She had to go flush the toilet real quick.
All right.
Or if one of the cats was taking a poop around there.
Dude,
Right, or she had to go pick up all the bras.
It'd be
There's like bras all over the bathroom.
When you guys see this, you're gonna be like,
here we go.
Baby oil.
Please.
She's got to.
Yeah,
she's go
spray
hide
some. We might smell it.
her DDO baby oil.
Let me see.
She's got like.
Febreze that.
She's got like a palette.
Here I am.
Yeah. Take us.
And this is my bathroom.
Come on, take us all the way in there.
Don't fall down.
Come on in.
Come on in and poop.
From a distance, I'm looking at either Frida Kahlo or Gustav Klimt.
Klimt. Adele. Is her name?
Ooh.
Adele.
Now you got to do a 360. Shut the door.
Okay.
Shut the door. Lock yourself in.
See, isn't that a luxurious place? You could drop a deuce.
It's fancy.
I know.
Especially the sink.
I know.
Like,
You guys
Swanky.
aren't
like
as
a
excited
swan.
about this shit
water
early.
comes out and everything.
His mouth.
It spits water at
Go up
you.
to the
How fancy.
show the ceiling up
Golden
higher.
swan.
And here's
Does it poop golden
It's
eggs?
like an alligator print, like contact.
Yeah, it's like textured.
This is an antique mirror that was my mom's. This is from Goodwill. And
Just got alligator print wallpaper. You hear that, folks?
Show up with the camera up so we can see more of the ceiling area. Yes.
I was gonna
Yes,
put some.
queen. Yes, queen.
Put some-
Oh, I love it. Look at that. Look at that. Like, this is... It is meant for actually pooping. James said that this is the type of bathroom that is just there. It isn't actually meant for using.
No, Lucas
Actually,
water.
I made sure of it that I had like everything stocked in the mirror, and I made sure I had everything in here. So if there was a guest to stay, they would have everything.
Yeah,
So
Matt
it's a
says
full
that
functional bathroom.
many
And
alligators.
I
died.
appreciate seeing the inside of the medicine cabinet.
Yeah,
Pardon?
that's nice.
So, because of the weirdness that I've had in my past, I have always come to the conclusion never ask for a woman to send pics over the internet of certain things. Take a picture of the inside of your medicine cabinet so I know what I'm working with.
Yeah.
I don't see any crazy pills. Yay.
She just showed us the guest bathroom though, so gotcha.
That was the guest
Oh.
bathroom. So yeah, there's
Gotcha.
nothing exciting in there.
So the 20 bottles of antipsychotics we don't get to see.
It's upstairs.
Those are
in
Hey,
the much fancier bathroom. She made that one look like all you go upstairs and then it's like double fancy compared to that one. It's
This is
not
for when
deep,
the hobos knock at the door.
right? You go upstairs and her wallpaper upstairs is like diamond and gold etched, you know.
Have you seen any cool shows lately, Rob? I was talking to Mike earlier about White Lotus. I just watched season 3 of it.
Are you up to date? I haven't watched it, but I know what's going on.
So I watched season 3 because I wanted to see Parker Posey's performance, and I really enjoyed it. I've watched 7 episodes. I don't know if that's all of them though. If it is, it didn't seem like it was resolved yet. There's not been a resolution. So
Well, still going right now, but you have the incest situation. When I went overseas, I love fucking these Thai
No, you
women
need
until
to
I
watch
realized I
it.
want to be fucked by one by being one.
oh yeah, that whole talk was amazing. That was hilarious. That was y'all. I just barely Caroline, you actually have decal. Shut the fuck up, James. you bitch.
Hobos. What year is it?
Geek Squad mother.
I love using the word hobo because it's a funny word, and
It is.
using bum, it's not as funny. But when I say hobo,
Yeah, it is.
it feels
funny.
good in my mouth.
Then on top of that, you don't hear it anymore, so why not? You know, I just try to call them homeless people, but I mean, the hobo
I was a
sounds lot
hobo
better than-
once.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just reading all the comments about the shitter tour. Okay.
Okay.
The Golden Throne. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
No loofah toilet.
Now I was gonna say, has anyone been to the Van Gogh experience?
I've
Yes.
been to the Van Gogh Museum in
Yeah, so am I.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I got to see sunflowers. The painting sunflower.
The painting.
Yeah.
I was over the wheat field there too.
Yeah. So certain pieces they go that rotate at certain museums, but then they have certain pieces that stay there all the time.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I was thinking I should just charge people $5, hand them a roll of toilet paper, give them a good 20 minutes and it's experience the bathroom.
The art culture experience.
Take it all in.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I know how you do it. You're going to have to put a little sign out front, and it's called Abbott Elementary's Ava Coleman's Special Toilet Experience.
Ava Coleman's Special Toilet.
If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, I'm sorry.
She doesn't. We don't.
Yeah, it's something that played out over many seasons where it's a poor school, and this woman that's in charge of the whole place is just this ghetto fantastic woman that she has her own private bathroom in the basement that nobody knows about, and it's like $100,000
I love it.
bathroom.
That sounds like something I would do.
Yo, Aaron mentioned something. Aaron said that it's going to be $7 with today's inflation. So you may need to-
True. Plus, I mean the paper. I mean, do you want the lavender scented, Angel Soft, the Charmin, or are we?
Yeah,
going
there's
for,
different
like,
tiers.
There are different tiers.
Yeah, and if you're getting Canada now, you got to apply tariffs and
And then Six Face says that this could be monetized for OnlyFans. So you may-
OnlyFans, huh?
mhm.
$12 Canadian.
Yeah,
Hobos in the shitter.
that's hot.
And for OnlyFans, you only get to see one toe. No feet videos, just one toe.
One toe.
If
Which
you
toe?
pay extra, the hobos will shower. And you can watch them. Only toilets, only shitters.
Holy shit.
You know, someone would pay for that.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
pretty sure
they
people
would.
already do.
That's true.
Fucked up. We ain't right. That boy ain't right. That's what we say in the South. He just ain't
Right,
right.
it's got a extra with no ads.
Not near mint. I did in my last home. I start off though with the Heronius Bosch bathroom, which I painted light green, and then I took pictures from all my art books from Heronius Bosch. I cut them out and I put them in gold frames, and I put them all on the wall in a nice, collage of Heronius Bosch stuff. So when people are on that toilet, they'd see like the devil eating a human, shitting it out, on the
Like you do. Like you do.
All
When
everyday
you
stuff.
shit here, you shit in hell. We dine in the kitchen.
When you shit here, you pay for your sins legitimately. We will remind you.
But when you shit out your sins here, you're saved.
Yeah, it'd be like
The bathroom.
Dante's porcelain throne.
On the mirror in front of you, it's got like, say, 15 Hail Marys. And,
Yeah.
I like what Six Face has. You watch bums fight? Now enjoy bums cleaning their bums.
right?
Mhm.
That was the thing, bum fights,
Oh, that's
That was
awful.
the 90s.
Yes, that was the fucking.
It was made by the same people that were doing, hey, take off your shirt.
Girls Gone Wild, yep.
That's the one.
Yeah. This is. Oh, if this ain't late stage capitalism, I don't know what is. Anyways,
That was the best kind of capitalism. What?
yeah, the
They
best
throw
kind.
Throw
Let
down
me
$100 and let two guys do it,
I just
You
don't
know,
understand.
I just
Here's-
watched, he did ask about that, Caroline. So a series that I've watched recently from the BBC, it's now on Netflix. It's the Dracula series that was made by the same people that did Doctor Who, Moffat. So it has Dracula now in modern times, because once the Demeter was sunk, it took about another 80 years before he resurfaced. So one of the quotes that he has, and I love this: democracy is the tyranny of the stupid.
It is so.
And I'm like,
It's one
I
season.
never- That is exactly what we're at. We're at the tyranny of the stupid. That's what I feel like right now. The tyranny of the stupid.
like I remember in college being taught Plato, and Plato didn't favor an actual
No,
democracy
he
where everybody
wanted nothing
voted.
but smart people. But see,
Yeah,
as we
are you
back-
educated? Yes. Do you have money? Do you own
Mhm.
land? I mean, some of those things
I don't
wanted
really-
to be
he didn't really
adopted
give
by
it-
our
he was
forefathers.
like,
but
"Are you smart?" And then he's like, "The rest, just enslave them." And I was like, "Hold on, Plato, just calm the fuck down."
Whoa!
initially we
He didn't
disagree.
believe in art either. So I was like, "Just don't be so dramatic, bro."
Yeah, we agreed
it's-
with him all the way up until 2024 in November.
Plato had some points, but not all of them were great. Socrates was a hoot.
Played it.
Isn't Socrates the one that had to drink his own hemlock?
Yeah. Yeah. He was so about it. He was like, because they were like, just don't fucking drink it. Like, they're not gonna just leave, self-exile, dude. And he was like, nope, this is a democracy, and I participate in democracy, and I respect the law. I've gotta follow the law. It's just like, bro.
Did he really say that? Is that why?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Basically, yeah.
Well, that's what
I
Plato
mean,
said.
not
He
word
said.
for word, but pretty damn close.
I wondered why.
I mean, yeah, he didn't say it as goofy as I did. He was real eloquent and Socratic about
I
it.
thought he was
I
just
mean,
like,
he wasn't very old.
Here, we can either kill
He
you.
was late
guns
50s,
or-
maybe.
I
Early
mean,
Yeah,
60s.
late
for the
50s.
time, he was old. But yeah, late 50s, he knew he was towards the end of his life. And it's like Batman towards the end of Dark Knight Returns. Is
Mhm.
this a good death? Is this a good death? Well,
Yep.
Hemlock and being looked at it as a martyr, and then people remembering me for the next maybe 100 years, maybe not much more after that. And then look at this. We're talking about him in 2025 on YouTube right now.
Hey,
reminds me of Navalny, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
just name
like he
drop
chose to pretty much
We need to
go be
name
a
drop
martyr.
Van Gogh a lot because he thought he was going to die nobody, and he did die nobody. But he's not a
He sold
nobody.
one painting his entire life to his brother.
Yeah, I know. And
And
Theo.
then he went batshit crazy and started doing a little bit more drugs than was
Well,
talked
but
about.
this is what he said. He's like, "Am I?" He's like, "Am I insane, or is the world just incredibly cruel?" And it's like,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Both of those things can be true.
Yes. It's not even a paradox.
yeah,
You can easily hold both of those thoughts.
yeah.
But yeah, he was going crazy because of lead poisoning. When he
Yeah.
cut
That'll
off
do
the
it.
ear
In
for
the
his
veins, yeah. And when you have that, apparently, like you see yellows or something, and that's why so much of his shit had yellow hints to it.
Really?
all his all the work that
Later
we
shit.
are aware of from him
Tinted
all
yellow.
were created in like the last 100 or so days of his life because he was
Mhm.
spiraling, going crazy.
Well, and he had been shot. Like, remember, he was in a fight or whatever. Don't
He
lick
cut
your
off his own ear and gave it to
Yeah, he cut off
like
his own.
saying his girlfriend. It wasn't his girlfriend. It was a sex worker
It was
that
a
posed for
hooker.
him for a lot of paintings.
Oh my god.
I want to say a lot of I always chalk up to just laziness, I mean, and not in his art, but just marketing himself and him chalking it up to like, oh, well, the world doesn't want. I mean, you only went like a half a mile away from where you live. Like, I mean,
Also, to be fair, it's not that different from today, right
No.
now, with comic artists and writers that
it's true.
they're not having people market their work. It's like, hey, Stephanie, you're going to be marketing yourself. Mike, you're going to be marketing yourself. Caroline, you market yourself. It's like, well, Stan Lee didn't do
You know what?
that.
No,
I'd
He didn't write
rather
a
cut
damn
off my
thing. He
ears
was
than
out
have to
there
market
hyping everybody
myself.
else up.
no, that's true then.
That's what he
True.
said.
The
I
no
don't-
in here.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm not doing it. You cannot make me. Yeah. So but see, that's often the tale
I
of
might scare her
great
away.
creatives are tragic tales because they don't.
Like we say, like we'll give like an arm for our love or something like that. Maybe he literally said, like, I'll give an arm, my ear for you. And she didn't
Yeah.
believe him. And he was like, there you go.
And then she's like, bitch, what am I gonna do with this ear? I get the point.
he was
I
like,
got
well,
the point.
you asked for it. She's got an ear.
She just molded
Your
it.
ears.
Say what? Say what, bitch? Say it louder. Those are great.
What are you saying?
Yeah, they are. They're
Bitch
like
said
really
you
ears.
never listen.
They go
Can we
on
get
the
some elf ears?
amalgam of
Yeah, some Arwen ears. Oh my god, I need them Arwen ears.
True. Mitch said she
Said
never
he never
listened.
listened. Here.
Oh, fuck.
Sounds right.
Where are you located on your map?
Miami, but not in the crazy area apparently, because we have a place called Wynwood, which used to be like the bum area, but now it turned into the art district and now it's gentrified. But a man and a woman beat a cop outside the Dirty Rabbit in Wynwood after a bystander reported domestic violence with a belt. That's where I live.
Jesus.
Yes, that's exactly the right thought.
Yeah, no
I think
wonder.
that's how
In
my
other
mouse
words, Florida.
works. Florida, man. Today in the
If you
Florida,
fuck
that'll
up here, it doesn't matter who you are. You can be a billionaire or a bum. You're a Florida man.
They're all
You
crazy.
don't want to be a Florida man.
Florida, man.
Bayou man. Bayou Billy. Don't be
Back
no
Rivers,
Bayou
man.
Billy. Oh my God. Man, I don't know really nothing else. You guys on anything you want to talk about? Got anything else you want to say?
I can go in different directions, but that's up to you. Are you trying to quit? Is that what it is?
She's trying to quit mine.
That's what it sounded like.
I only
Yeah.
got so
I'm
much
just
battery.
hearing
Hold on, what does my thing say? I got 27% battery.
Oh, you low, girl. You low.
How long have you been going for? Has this stream been going?
1 hour and 49 minutes.
Well,
What?
Fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah. Yeah, down with the man. Can't hold me down. We'll go longer. Will you go take it somewhere else, Mike? Where are you taking us?
Somebody mentioned it in the chat, and you were talking about shows. Do you watch any anime? Because one of the most viewed, watched things right now is an anime. Solo Leveling. Has any of y'all heard about that?
No.
Heard of it, haven't seen it.
Solo Leveling.
They
It's
used to be
big.
big into anime, but they just don't finish them.
Some do, some don't. I can say I'm right there with you. I'm not a big fan of the long running animes because there's some, I mean, extensively long. My favorite is one of the longest running, One Piece. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's up to like 1,000 something episodes.
I loved Inuyasha, but I really think that the only good episodes were 1 through 52 and then the final act. Just forget from episode 55 through like 100 and whatever fucking one it is, 150 or something.
And they did add on to Inuyasha recently. I think like 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
that was the final act. And then they made a new one where it's like the son of Inuyasha. I didn't
It's
watch
his daughter.
that.
It's his daughter.
Hmm.
I did. It was okay.
But I watched the recreation, and it is a perfect recreation of Ron Mahaf on Netflix. It's only 10 episodes, but they take like those first few episodes and they follow it like the manga did, unlike the original anime that just jumped all the fucking way around with the story and then just started making random filler episodes. So we might have a reason to see it finish.
I can say some things like anime that applies to, because like, I mean, if you're experienced with Full Metal Alchemist, you know, I mean, the superior version of it is Brotherhood.
The new one.
Released. Yeah.
Brotherhood.
That one actually it's like a similar Game of Thrones style story where they started the anime at a point where they thought the manga was going to finish, and the anime actually went faster than the manga did, so they didn't know. They kind of just started guessing at what he was going to do.
In the original one, they went, hey, let's have him time travel to the 1920s and start talking about Nazi shit. You're like, well, I like the first half. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, the second, and then they didn't finish it either. It got to a point, but at least with Brotherhood, we did.
I mean, similar with Hellsing, they had an OVA from the late 90s and 10 episodes. It looked really good, but the only good ones were like the first 4 episodes, and nobody talks about the last 6. And then they did a reboot of it and then followed the manga, and it worked.
Yeah. That one, I think it was the whole stigma with the German side of it, and then with the Nazi.
I'd love to see Berserk again.
Sorry, guys, I was fucking sitting now.
Yeah, sorry. We talked about the boring stuff, the animated stuff from overseas.
So my brother is a big anime fan. I have seen Afro Samurai. I've seen Spirited Away.
Samurai's good.
I've seen another one besides Spirited Away that was done by the same guy.
Princess Mononoke.
Ponyo?
I can't remember which one. But
There's Spirited Away, and there was one that was just like it, Howl's Moving Castle.
What do you consider anime? Like, is it just the style, or does it have to be about like fighting? Like,
it just has to be animated in Japan.
Yeah.
So then, is Boondocks anime?
Technically, yes, it was animated in Japan. They wrote it here in the United States, and they had it animated over there by, I think, Gainax or 4C.
Okay, like Dragon Ball Z is anime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, okay, all
One
I
right.
mean,
of their
anime has
shows and
really
show.
evolved for where it started off with hand cell drawn stuff, and now it's
Mhm.
all in the
Like
computer.
Ghost in the
for the most
Shell.
part.
Ghost in the Shell is
Yes.
Yeah.
early.
Aeon Flux.
Aeon
That
Flux is a
is
French
American.
production.
Yeah, it's Americanized.
French, actually. Yeah, it
French.
was done by an
yeah, you're
American,
right. You're right.
animated
You're
in
right.
France.
Yeah, it is. Like the original is like French, and then MTV got a hold of it, and it's MTV like redoing it's
Yeah,
just animating the
like
French version. You're
Persepolis.
right.
Persepolis has an anime-ish feel, but it was animated in France.
I like
The French
Persepolis.
France has their own style of animation, because
Like
they've done
Winx.
because they've done a lot of animated movies over the years, like animated shows and movies. And I want to say it's not like a set style, like with anime and manga. It kind of is a set style. The
Moribito.
eyes.
Like I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I watched this on Nickelodeon back in the day, and this was when they were taking shows like Macross and say, we're not going to call it that, we're going to recut it and call it Robotech. There was a show that they had called The Mysterious Cities of Gold that really got me into like archaeology and the thoughts of civilizations that existed long before the Sumerians, and that got me interested in this shit. And then I forgot about it for decades until I saw a bootleg at a convention about maybe 2 decades ago. But I think that was a French production. But it had the music that they ripped it off. I mean, it was the same literal music from He-Man,
like
Masters of the Universe.
okay.
That sounds amazing.
It doesn't ring a bell, but it sounds cool. Like and
That sounds fucking amazing.
I don't know if I've ever seen like an animated, like kind of like archaeology, Indiana Jones kind of thing. I don't think so.
I mean, that's the perfect way to say what it was. Is these 2 kids where they have like an amulet that combines together, and they're off looking for the lost cities of gold. And at the end of the first season, they find it, and then there's like 20 years, and here's a new anime.
Brad is saying Bubblegum Crisis.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's cyberpunk.
Good. Yeah, it's cyberpunk.
What is cyberpunk?
Semi-futuristic, like with modernized setting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like instead of just having a punk with a mohawk, it's like punk where you have like an eye patch, but it's like a cyber eye or something.
Akira or something?
That's cyberpunk.
Yeah, I call it cyberpunk.
What about like Appleseed?
Appleseed cyberpunk.
Yes.
Cyberpunk.
Anything with a mask, like that's kind of like in the future that heavily relies on like technology and people.
It looks futuristic but run down at the same time, like Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
Like dystopian future.
Very lived in but futuristic.
To like
Alien 3. The line that I remember more than any other line from the movie Alien 3, it's the future. Why doesn't anything work around here? I explained that, like, hey, that movie was made back in 1993. It's 2025. Guess what? It's the future. Nothing fucking works here.
Yeah, it's still prevalent.
Yeah, except it's
now
we know that it's intentional.
What's cyberpunk? This what we're living in right now.
And that touches base on because anime, and that's one of my favorite things about anime. And Ninja's in the chat, and she can contest to this, that there's not just like set genres. Like, I mean, when you hear anime, it's all like action, this and blood, and over the top and sex, and it's not necessarily true. Like that. I mean, yes, there's a lot of that.
Literally anything, because over there it's genres for anybody from a child to an elderly adult, because they were raised with it. It's not animations for children. It's, hey, I'm going to watch a cooking show. It's anime. I'm going to watch a basketball show. I'm going to watch a coming of age show. I'm going to watch something about tentacle sex.
You're talking about like mangas.
A medium, not a genre.
Like you're talking about mangas are so popular in Japan that they're more so in homes than we have books in our homes. You're talking about like I have a bookshelf with a lot of books on it. Well, in Japan, it'd be like double that probably. I mean, that's the general home. And you're talking about
in Japan, they're not allowed to have large homes. So instead, they build it in a way where it's called an eel home. And it's such just like this bullshit workaround where you can have this really huge home, but the corridors have to be like really small and they snake around the entire place. And that's how you get around being able to have a large home in Japan. because there's only so much land. It's like being with the tour guide and they go, "Oh, hey, why aren't there any burgers?" Like, well, you're on a train. It's a bullet train. It's going fast. Look out the window. Do you see any cows? And automatically, it just felt like that scene from
They got Wagyu, bro.
Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Where, what are you eating there?
Wagyu.
What
Do you see any cows?
Yeah,
That's
people?
right.
we just crawled out of the sewers.
Humans. Moomins.
Yeah, but you're talking about like one of my favorite
Yeah,
animes.
yeah.
It's just an anime about these
Work in
like
Tacoma. If you're
high
not
school
working,
girls playing board games.
if you're not
Okay,
working Tacoma, I'll send you the link.
Well, you were about to cut it off, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna try.
Unless Tacoma comes on, and then you can show books, then we'll be on for another hour.
No, can't do that because I only got 25% battery.
And
Lunch.
look, you got about 30 seconds and we're at the 2-hour cut. It's a nice sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys want to go around? Is you guys got anything going on? Mike? No.
Playing Skyrim. Book discussion on Saturday.
Rob?
Well, we usually do our Not Near Mint show at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. I don't know what the topic's going to be, but we'll figure it out. We always do. And even when we do put it on there, it's not like we always talk about it the entire episode. We're just about enjoying comics, showing what we appreciate, and hearing some of what you all appreciate so we can appreciate it. And then we're all just appreciating everything.
Yeah, open forum, bitches.
Kumbaya.
And Madam, what about you?
I am going to be appearing on Matt's channel, Heroes for Hire at Comic Club, at 5 my time, 8 Eastern time, I think. And we're just going to be chatting.
Sleepy Reader says that statue is looking good.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, isn't it? She's very talented. Very nice.
One last thing to drop to Stephanie there. The first time that I ever heard the name Hieronymus Bosch was right before college. And of all things to hear it on was Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, wow. Random.
That's strange.
That's cool. I don't remember that. But that's
Yeah, the Brain was making some comment like, "What do you expect, Pinky? This is some kind of
it fits.
I went,
Yeah.
Who is that? And I look it up. Oh, this is fucking awesome. So in college, has anybody ever heard of?
We
Love you, bye guys.
We spanned the gauntlet of popular culture, and now we're out.
Quick note, I'm going to be, so when I go on Matt's show tonight, I think I'm going to be Poison Ivy. So
Heroes for Hire. Be there, be square. Take care.
Having a sad Coke.
Sad Coke.
Sad.
Bye-bye.